There's nothing worse than not planning effectively, having a beautiful set of kitchen cabinets, and then cutting in a rectangle
Plug.
regular plug.
Yes.
That in my purview, when I walk in the kitchen to see that and I say this kitchen was poorly planned, or they had a builder that wasn't listening
Wow.
to them. Hey, welcome back to another powerful episode of Building Brews and Barbecue, the series, The House That Wisdom Built. Me, Vince Longo, alongside my cohort here.
Cohort?
Cohort today. Today you're the cohort instead of the wart. Yesterday you were the wart. Today my cohort, Nathan Walters, reigning from Oklahoma.
Reigning what? Champion?
Raining down.
What?
Go ahead. Nathan, say hello to the crowd.
I'm not saying hello after that. I'm a bystander.
What do we do? An old song. Today, we're going to take our listener through electrical,
Okay.
which I think is my favorite of the mechanicals. You know, it really provides the customer to have a lot of input. And I think it's, if you're building a home, renovating your home, this is where you really need to think about the different times of the day, different lighting patterns, how you want to wake up, the intensity of light, the color of the light, things like that. This is really important. And that's why I like it. Why do you like electrical, Nathan?
I never said I did. You said it was your favorite. I didn't say it was my
I
favorite.
could kind of see it in your face. You're all lit up.
I don't, when I think about, if I had to be a trade, electrical is not what I would be. So, I don't know if I love it as much as you, because I just think about how small those wires are. And I just think about, when it's cold, having to pull the wire. I think I'm more into HVAC. But we already did that episode.
Yeah.
But I'm just, you were forcing it on me to tell the people why I like
That's
electrical.
right.
And I know
Well,
I said I did.
I think nothing ruins a space, a home, your domain.
Then 5,000 kelvins.
Nope. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Nothing
bad.
ruins your domain worse than a bad lighting plan.
Just ice blue.
Oh, that's just
bright.
sweet.
It's
Get up, everybody, out of bed, kids. Well,
get up. It's a surgery center.
Funny thing you say that. I've got a story that I had a customer that we gave them domain over their lighting plan and helped guide them. And we kept saying, hey, stick around 2,700 Kelvin. For those of you that don't know, there's different lighting temperatures. It's measured in kelvins, and there's a Kelvin scale, and it basically goes from, you can buy light bulbs like 2,700.
Yep.
You can probably get custom for less kelvins, and that's your warm, soft light. It's your old school incandescent light bulb, which you can no longer get anywhere.
That's right.
Unless you go to a specialty supply house. But your old incandescent, that's going to be your 2,700 Kelvin, all the way up to your crisper lighting, which is your 3,000. And then you start to fade into those bright outdoor sun blue colors. You can go all the way up to 4,500. And there's some, dude, that you can get all the way up to 6, 7, 8,000 Kelvin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can.
Yep. And it's funny.
We try to stay around 2,700 to 3,000.
Yeah.
That's where we like to live.
Yeah. And it just depends on what you're lighting up. And we'll get in lighting up and we'll get into that. The funny story is I had a customer that wanted 2,700 in their bedroom, right? They wanted to be a little bit dimmer, warmer, softer.
Set the mood.
You set the mood.
Sure.
Set the mood. Their kitchen and all their other spaces, they wanted at 3,000 Kelvin, a little crisper, better for paintings, things like that. It really pops the color. And then in their kids' room, they're like, we want 4,500 Kelvin, because when these kids will not listen when we tell them to get up, we just want to be able to flip the switch or hit the button on our phone.
Wake up.
And because this light is going to fry you out of bed. It is so blue. So very smart. I thought they were crazy, but now that I have a daughter, I think it's really smart.
Time to wake up.
Time to wake up, Buttercup.
Look, we're in a surgery center. Wake up.
Yeah, exactly. Get ready for your appendectomy. So anyway, getting into it, this is one of those things, Nathan, that I think the most important thing is during the pre-planning stage, going all the way back in the Wayback Machine, is lighting plans. We added, I think we talked about this, our power team, we added the integrator to our power team, which, yeah, that's low voltage. We'll get into that. That's your audio communications. But what we're finding more and more, that's integrated in your lighting plan,
Mhm.
because people are controlling lights now
Mhm.
with their low voltage system, their Control 4s, your
Yep.
Crestron, your Deco lighting, things like that. And so we're doing that earlier because it's so important. And what we're trying to get our listeners, our customers to understand is look at lighting in layers.
Mhm.
You know, not just can lights on the ceiling, which are basically acne on your ceiling.
Okay.
Can't
So
can
too
is that
far.
too far?
Yeah.
Am I too passionate? Feel the passion.
I mean, I
You
feel it.
you're I go into people's houses, say, look at this acne on your ceiling.
Like, do we pop it? What do we do exactly? Just
LED light bulbs don't pop anymore.
you're right.
But so look at it in layers. Have you done that in Oklahoma with when you're doing your planning? What are you doing when you're planning your electrical?
We just wing it, man. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, so we have noticed it's much more important. So, we do our interior designer really leads the charge on that. Have I ever broken it down to a client in the term of layers? No, but that is what we're doing. You're talking about we have our recessed lighting, which is either can lighting or puck lights. LED puck lights are I'm sure you've seen them. You can get them off Amazon and they're so crisp to the ceiling. And inside of them, you can change the kelvins.
Yeah,
Inside when you install them. So we go through laying those out. Then you're right. Then we're talking through like our chandeliers or our big fixtures. And then we're talking through wall
yeah.
sconces,
So your
pendants.
ambient being your ceiling, so
Mhm.
your cans and your fixtures.
Yep.
Now you're moving to your wall,
Yep.
which is your task, which are
Yep.
your pendants
Pendants,
under
sconces,
under
and then
cabinet.
yep, and then you get into your under cabinet lighting, in cabinet lighting, under cabinet lighting. We call it low voltage lighting anywhere that we're running our low voltage lighting
Gotcha.
to
Oh,
create
so
that.
yeah, so the listener knows. So that's your task.
Yep.
Your under cabinet,
Yep.
your pendants, maybe that are lighting up a surface.
Yep.
So that's it. So you got your ambient ceiling task is performing specific
Yeah,
tasks,
that's right.
and then your accent would be like your just sconces and
Our
bathrooms.
lights, something that on a wall is
Yeah,
gonna go just over.
under what we're seeing more. I don't know if you are is toe kick lights
Yep.
in bathrooms, or
Yep.
you do the floating cabinetry and
Mhm.
you put it under there to accent at night, almost like a night light.
Yeah, we do them a lot as, they're censored.
Mm.
So you gotta get up, use a restroom. If you're, over 40 and you're a man, you're doing that. Sorry, as you say, dirty little secret, you're going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, uh, on a sensor to where when the customer walks in, doesn't have to look for light switch
Ah,
and big light doesn't come on, boom, little toe kick light comes on your way to the bathroom.
and a motion sensor,
Yeah, motion
maybe a
sensor.
timed motion
Yeah.
sensor picks it up.
Yep.
And what we've seen too is that's a great idea in bathrooms and stuff like that. What we've seen in hallways is they'll actually also now make lighting or outlet
Yeah,
covers
outlet covers, yep.
that actually have an integrated LED light in it.
We
So it pops on and it touches the power on the side of the outlet,
Mhm.
and it's dusk to dawn,
Yep.
meaning it at night it comes on with that with the low light, and so it stays on all night.
Stair lights, kind
Stair
of the same
lights.
thing. They look like plugs that are just pointing down. They're real low lit just so they can stay on all night. Kids are able to get up and down the stairs without big bright lights coming on.
Yeah, how about this? And we just did it. Drop the episode. Go back and look at it with California Closets.
Mhm.
Carmen Francisco was an incredible episode. Uh, in
Was it incredible
It
'cause
released in March of 2025. So go take a look at it.
was it incredible 'cause I wasn't there?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay,
it was such
makes
a great
sense.
conversation. Didn't get all boggled down. But now they're even doing integrated lighting
Mhm.
on poles in that you hang your clothes from. So you can actually see the true color of your
Yeah.
clothes especially if you don't have a window in your
Right,
closet,
right.
which I thought was incredible. And I think what this all boils down to and what we're talking about here and seeing is the fact that this needs to be thought of early.
Everything's becoming more specialized, right? And I
Mhm.
think that's what the customer most likely is gonna be picking up listening to all of our episodes, which is the reason we're doing this, going through it. I think you're gonna see that everything's becoming more specialized. In this, though, we even have companies in town, Visual Comfort, for one, who does lights.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Do I have a bug?
No,
Do I got nose hair?
no, you look good.
Oh, so you're just picking your nose. All right. So we have a we have a company that called Visual Comfort, which obviously everybody should know Visual Comfort on the
The old Circa lighting.
yes, old Circle Lighting. So they have a facility that we can send our customers to that same they have a lighting professional that lays everything out. Hey, this is the Kelvin. This is how many K. You don't need 8 cans. You just need 4 because this is what we're going to do and can actually run everybody through the lighting. And again, it's pre planning. But used to, everything was, as we talked about at the very beginning of this, creating a power team. Used to all the time, it was just in the builder's court. It's not that way anymore. You're seeing way more specialized ways of thinking about it, and we have customers that will go and lay out their lighting with a lighting professional.
That's right. And, one of the big things that I know you do now and I do is early on in the planning process, pre-construction, we get those plans drawn up, lighting plans.
Mhm.
Now, an architect will do it, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of people will get the lighting plan from the architect, but that's them at a desk, kind of just putting where a typical
Mhm.
light would go, a typical outlet. They might get a little bit in depth, but they're not really sitting down and do it. And so somebody at Visual Comfort, like you talked about, or there's other air places like I know in Atlanta, there's yeah, lighting technology and design gurus.
Mhm.
There's a few others, Georgia Home Theater,
Yep.
places like that, that will do lighting plans,
Yep.
but they're customized. The customer comes in and they walk through room by room to see how they want it to feel
Yep.
when they come in, where lights are, where switches are,
Mhm.
where outlets are. You've got, are there specialty outlets? We're having customers because of this light layering, right? The ambient, the task, we're having customers now say, "Hey, I want to go back old school where there's a switch on the wall and I push the switch and it turns on that outlet because I'm going to go back to putting a lamp there and I just want to be able to turn it on." That's gotten forgotten
Mhm.
in the 90s, 2000s up until like 4 or 5 years ago where we're starting to see it more and more and more. Oh, you want that accent lighting,
Mhm.
that mid-level lighting to create the layers. And that gets severely missed, and that's a big problem that I see for making your home perfect to the way you want to live.
Mhm.
And
Y
I
You make perfect homes?
yes, I
Wow.
do.
Y'all heard it here.
Yeah, get in line.
I do not.
Well, how we do that is something that we haven't talked about up until now, and I'm surprised we're gonna get a scolding.
Uh-oh, from?
Digs.
Oh, yeah.
That's an incredible
Oh,
software.
yeah.
You're user number 1.
User number 1
I am
on
user
digs.
number 4 because I
You're bad.
delayed my yeah, yeah,
You're bad. How'd
which
that work
hurt.
out for you?
It did not. It did not. We can't get into it with this audience, but it has not worked out. It did work out because we just got to sit down with Mike Rowe,
We did.
which was
It was
incredible.
awesome.
Love Mike Rowe. Um, the interesting thing about that is Diggs is a software that you use it
Uh-huh.
even more than I do in
Yep.
pre-construction where you actually physically put the plans. So
Mhm.
we'll physically put the lighting plan into Diggs
Yep.
and you can actually make layers
You can.
and you can write and make comments right on the plan and the entire power team
Yep.
and you just at them
That's right.
and they are all involved. And so what's so cool about the light plan layer is we can bring that up and we sit with the customer and say, okay, going in this room on your wall, do you want, your door opens this way. So your outlets are going to be this way. How wide is your trim? So we can put the light, the light switches in
Mhm.
and not have the cover hit your trim
That's
have
right.
to cut it. We want a little space. So we can get as granular
Mhm.
as that
Do you want
in
the
that.
plugs in your baseboard or above your baseboard?
That's right.
Mhm.
We can and so we go room by room and put notes right on the plan
Yep.
saying, "Hey, here's your lighting plan. This is how it goes." And not only that is what's your comfort level when you walk in this room? The first switch you come to? Do you want that to be your overhead,
Mhm.
your lamps next to your bed? Do you want it to be your fan?
Mhm.
Or the light on your fan. So you could have a bank of 4 switches, but we'll get so granular. And I recommend everybody doing a renovation or building a new home to get that granular. I want this switch first, this switch second. if we have that in digs, we can turn that into individual room or the whole lighting plan
Yep.
into a QR code,
Yep.
and that gets taped right in the room, and the electrician doing the wiring knows exactly where to put the box
That's right.
to miss moldings, what height, what switch comes
Yep.
first, and there's zero confusion.
Those meetings that you talked about in our last episodes, I should have definitely brought up digs. I'm still customer number one, so they can't take that away from me. Should have brought that up because those meetings we do them through digs. And so when you're talking about laying out bays and you were talking about spray painting the bays, we do that all on layers. So we have the electrician, the plumber, and the HVAC guys in office, and we layer everything in through digs and then have them choose their bays, and then it's all laid out. And then you're right, turn it into a QR code, goes
Yeah,
out on
and
the
then
site.
go to the site and still show them again, but at least with some contractors.
Oh well, they run it in the wrong bay, but
That's
we
right.
figure it out.
Yeah, that it takes three times typically with them to get it into the skull. But I love you guys so much. What about room by room insights that we can give them a kind of, I'm not going to say that word again today, but we can give them interesting
Say it.
information.
Say it.
You know,
Say it.
like kitchen. What are some big things that a homeowner needs to think about in their kitchen from a lighting standpoint?
Would one say a tip?
Yes.
Give them a tip, if you will. I would say so for me, I love few things. I'm gonna give them so many tips. Under cabinet lighting, in cabinet lighting, if you have glass above cabinet lighting, I love soft lighting in kitchens. I mean, love it. I love it because it's so great for like when you get the dishes done after dinner and you want to go watch TV on the couch and you can turn off all those lights and just have that kind of ambient lighting on in there to where it's not pitch dark, but it's not bright. Love that. Huge into attempting. You got to really think through your cabinets, and we attempt to put as many plugs into our upper cabinets as we can, as long as we can meet code, to keep plugs out of the backsplashes. Because per code, we have to have plugs certain distances from the cooktop, certain distances from the sinks, right? We have to by code. We really work because you're seeing so much in kitchens these days that these backsplashes are full slab, right? Marble, quartz, whatever it is that we're putting on the wall. And we've been really working to try to keep plugs out of those as much as possible. Sometimes you can't. We're getting into, like you have at your house, if we do have to put them into something, those sleek circle plugs.
Yeah, sill lights. Yep. And then you can get the integrated cover. If it's a paint grade,
That's right.
you can paint it to match your cabinetry and it disappears. Nothing, there's nothing worse than not planning effectively, having a beautiful set of kitchen cabinets and then cutting in a rectangle regular plug.
Yes.
That is that in my purview, when I walk in a kitchen to see that and I say this kitchen was poorly planned, or they had a builder that wasn't listening
Wow.
to them.
So when you came to my house, that's what you thought?
No, I didn't even look. I came with my eyes closed. Something that we're doing that our listeners should think about. You talk about the kitchen. How about putting plugs inside drawers?
Yes.
You
Been
know,
seeing a
with
lot of that.
yeah, the drawer plugs, huge. The phone comes in, it gets plugged in, it goes away, and they have now plugs are coming with. You have your outlets in the
USBs in them.
and then USBs in them. And
Yeah, we've been getting
smart switches.
We've been getting that in kitchens or in mud rooms, right? Where customers are saying, "Hey, this is where our kids' phones and iPads are going to be. They're not going up to their room." So we are seeing a bunch of that.
Yeah. Or, how about a room like a garage? You know, we're doing EV chargers now in some neighborhoods that are EV centric. We're doing two EV.
So in all of our spec houses, customers will obviously tell us in all of our spec houses, we've been dropping at 220 to be able to have EV chargers just to have them. We overplug our garages too. By code, we only have to have one plug per bay. We've been putting extra plugs into them, for if guys have a bunch of tools, have a bunch of stuff they want to do. The EV charger dropping at 220 works too, because if we drop that 220 wire, even if they end up not having an EV, what's great about that 220 is welder.
Yeah. Because every homeowner needs a good welding
I think
device.
so.
Yeah.
We'd be better off if they did. Hey.
Oh, no, you know what they can do? We've actually retroed one of those. That's actually a good point. I'm going to give you that. You could hook up a welder your Uncle Bonnie or
I don't.
Bert
I don't.
comes over with his RV.
Hey,
You know,
hey.
maybe what we've done before is put like a, a sewer clean out by the driveway. So when Uncle Bert comes over with his RV, he can dump
Oh,
out his
I
RV
always thought that was
into
for if
this.
like your friends were watching TV and you didn't want them going in the house.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Hey, for real though, on the welder, my dad bought a welder that we couldn't afford, and it is how him and my mom paid taxes, or if like an air conditioner broke, my dad would weld windows for planes at like 25 bucks a window out of Tinker Air Force Base. And he would come home from work and then weld in the garage so that they can make enough money to pay like their property taxes that year or daycare or whatever. So just
Hey,
saying.
you know, this is like all full circle, like what we talk about with Mike Rowe, is getting back into the trades and
That's what I'm saying.
understanding how to do that.
Shower
But
welder.
not only that is we had a customer recently story that we had the EV charger there.
Mhm.
They don't want EV cars, but you know what they did had? They had a third car for a 2-car garage, and we ended up installing a lift. And bam,
Yeah.
you had the power you
You have the
needed
power.
for
That's
the
right.
lift.
That's right. We've been dropping it, like I said, to have it there because we do know how prevalent the electric cars are coming. But you know what? It's worked out so well because there rarely is it a bad idea to have some source of 220 power in your
Yeah,
garage.
yeah. And then, you know, skip inside, back inside the bathrooms.
Mhm.
You know, people over, especially in the 90s, 2000s, it was, hey, let's keep it easy and simple and cheap and
Vent light.
yeah, and throw the sconce over the mirror. So now you've got a vanity light
Mhm.
or whatever it is you have, you know, a
It was
bar
usually a
light,
bar light.
usually a bar light, 3 or 4 bulbs in
Yep.
it, really bright over the top of
Mhm.
the mirror.
Yep.
So this thing is, you know, 48 inches
Yep.
up above the countertop. Well, I'm 6'4", and
He's not.
it
He
I'm a
is.
whopping 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. Well, if you could push my knees together,
You'd
get
be
me on so
5'9"
tall,
then.
I'd be 5'9". But the longer I walked, by the end of the day, I'm like 5'4". But anyway, what we try to tell, hey, plan it and let's make it, if we can add in the planning stage a few more inches, 6, 7, 8 inches to that bathroom, enough that you have your vanity, your sink, and we can get a sconce to
Yeah.
the left and right and bring left and right of the mirror and bring those sconces down so it hits your face.
Yep.
The stuff over the top of mirror casts a horrible shadow
Mhm.
on your face.
Which
But
I don't need.
yeah, yeah, none of us need it.
My
Trust me.
nose is big enough. It casts a
Dude.
big enough shadow.
But if you can lower those lights and get more of that face, your face lit up without shadowing,
Yeah.
people like it better.
Man, remember too, like how back in the early 2000s too, in the toilet rooms, it was a vent light. That dingy plastic cover, like that was a guarantee.
That's
to a
right.
vent light.
You get the flies on the inside.
Oh yeah, the bugs die on the inside, and you're like, oh, that's
That's
stinks.
nice.
So all right. Man, it's so funny because on our team inside of our office, I love the vent cans. Love the vent cans.
Fan cans.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that you press the switch and it both comes on. And it's so funny because on my team, they're like, no, do a can light and then just a vent because I don't always want the vent on. And I'm like, dude, for me, I love that. Hey, I press one thing, you're in the bathroom, you know, and if you're using that light, it's because you're using the toilet. I love that they both just come on.
Yeah. Here's a cool tip.
Oh, good. More tips.
Got a tip for you.
Good.
Every homeowner, where you're renovating your house or building a new house, do yourself a favor and add the electrical outlet to the left or right of the toilet.
Man, dude, that's becoming so popular in
Yep.
the last couple of years.
Yep. This way, you can have a toilet seat
Yep.
that acts as a bidet.
Yep.
You can actually get,
Warmer.
yeah, you can get those seat cover, you know, those seats and retro your toilet. Or you go ahead and get one of those Toto
Yep.
or Kohler Mac Daddy toilets ahead of time. They all need power.
Yep.
So go ahead
Then-
and plan on installing it. Spend the $80 for the outlet now.
Then if you don't want a bidet, you have a phone charger. You're welcome.
Most women will love that.
No.
The man spends enough time on the John Lennon.
5 minutes
giving him an
later,
outlet
giving
in
him
there.
an outlet to plug his phone
Lord,
into.
He's going to be watching the game with his buddies.
Lord.
Lord. So,
Can we real quick though? I know it's not about lighting. Can we touch on something though?
yeah, I guess so.
Well, too bad. I need this out there in the
in
podcast
the ether.
universe. Yeah, I need it out there. Listen, the fact that they make toilet seats that warm up, I just need everybody to know that's nasty.
Ooh,
A warm toilet seat?
yeah. It's like a warm hug
No,
on your hiney.
it's not. That just to me means someone was there.
So this is bringing back
Yeah, it
memories.
brings out I need them ice cold. I wanna act like no one's ever been on this toilet. I wanna sit down, I need it to be chilly. It cannot be warm.
That's like a college war wound. You were in there too
I was
fast
in
after
there,
a buddy.
after yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a good pro tip. Do you think they make a cooling toilet seat?
That's what I would want. "Hey, can we cool this thing off? Make sure it's real nice and cold?"
Yeah, after you've been there, especially the guys, they've been there for a while. You said that cools back down. Um, moving on,
About lighting.
we could get into, I mean, we could go for hours on different rooms.
Mhm.
And, hey, if anybody wants any more tips on different rooms and what we would recommend, DM us.
We could get super granular on this because again, that's what we're trying to explain to everybody is how important all these steps are. But again, if you take anything away from this, let it be known that either sitting down with your builder and your interior designer and really laying out these plans, or most markets have somebody who does this as a profession. And like for
Mm,
us, if we purchase our lights from Visual Comfort, that it's in air quotes free, right? They're doing that service
yeah.
for
Yeah,
for
most of them
free
will.
as long as we're getting our light fixtures from them. And so it's just if you take anything from this, be ready, be prepared to spend time with either your interior designer or a lighting professional to really walk through this.
Yeah, that's right. And, we'll move on to like smart electrical planning next. But I would
Oh, I thought
say,
this was over.
yeah, almost a big giant takeaway on the outside of the house. If I could say, let me give you three quick things.
Pro tips.
No, it's not a pro tip. Just three rapid fire top three things to think about.
Exterior lights on a timer.
Yes, that's one. Two, holiday lights with their own switch.
Yep.
So, in the different holidays, you can flip them on, turn them off, and path lighting. People will put soffit lighting in and path light. So those things, landscape lighting is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So holiday lighting, landscape lighting, and
We as a company
lights on timers.
we as a company love exterior lighting. Love it, and it's funny because I love it so much, and we put them on our spec houses, and it's so hilarious because most people don't go look at your houses at night.
Yeah,
But we
but
still
they do.
but we still do it, and we put them on timers because we absolutely love the up and the down lights,
That's
soft
right.
orange cans, up lights, and just lighting the house up.
Yeah, so you're layering inside. Don't forget to layer
Yeah,
outside.
you gotta layer outside too.
Yeah, and at least plan for it. You don't have to install that stuff,
Yeah.
but an outlet is cheap when you do it early.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So good. Now let's get into a little bit more about. Okay, we figured out layouts. We know how we want this to go. Let's talk about smart electrical planning, meaning the tech aspect of it. What I've noticed is you can go very simple. I'll have some of my older customers. We're doing houses that are their fourth or fifth or their final house,
Mhm.
and it's almost like they go backwards because they're getting older. They don't want to deal with the technology.
Yeah.
So we still do have, people that come in. We want a multi-million-dollar home, but they're like, give me a regular switch on everything. I do not want this smart. We eventually convince them to do some smart, so they have things that automatically come on, but things that are simple for them. But what are you doing in your homes for any lighting smart systems?
I let the homeowner drive that because I'm actually like one of your older clients. I wanna come in and flip the light switch on.
Gotcha.
I don't wanna mess around with it, and that's me personally, and what's funny about home builders is a lot of the quirks that they do are generally their preference. So,
Gotcha.
we have, just like you have Eric Joy from one of our first episodes, if people wanna go back and listen, we have someone like Eric Joy in our market that can kinda run people through, and if we have customers that are like, "We want a smart home," we get them in early with our version of Eric, right? And we let them do that. We don't push a ton on it, but you can do so much. What's crazy because everything, you know, just as simple as 10 years ago, you remember how, if you wanted to do systems like this, how much low voltage wire was ran in the
Oh
house?
yeah.
Dude, it's almost all Wi Fi now.
Yeah.
You can go to Home Depot and get smart switches now, and just take your switch off and put a smart switch on, and you can almost do that as me. Like I can go do it,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
Well, it's funny. We'll get into that.
oh, episode's gonna keep going.
Yes,
Oh, okay, good.
it's going to be a 6-parter. No,
Oh,
but that's right. Yeah, and you're right. If people want to learn more about low volt, we're not going to get into it because that's an animal all of itself.
oh yeah.
And what is that? That's your home integration, your speakers, security, sound controls, audio, visual, cameras, things like that.
All of it.
Go back and listen to episode 1.
Yeah,
Eric went into all of that. These people are no longer low voltage guys.
Yeah.
They're home integrators.
Oh, yeah.
And quite honestly, that is probably an episode we should do again because that's where everything is going with homes.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about that is right now, you've got to get like Control 4
Mhm.
or Crestron. These are these big systems. They're not really open source that control lighting. They're really, really expensive, y'all. Really expensive.
Mhm.
But things are changing rapidly. There's a new product out there called Deco that I just learned about. They joined our CBUSA group. And this now allows all you do is you wire the back of this universal kind of electrical plate that goes inside your switch. Period. And then you can get all kinds of different switches, whether they're dimmers, smart, whatever you want, and they just pop in.
Yeah.
So you wire it once, you pop this in the cover on, and they're really good looking, separate, and you no longer need a system to control that. You need a Wi-Fi connection. That's all you need, and everybody's got that for internet. And they'll provide you their software for free, and you can control all the way down to that individual light switch from wherever you are in the world. And you can set up scenes and modes yourself. So this technology is getting easier and easier and more open so the homeowner can kind of control what they want themselves.
It's why I didn't press it a lot. Look, I mean, I'm not banging on Control 4. I've had Control 4 in all my offices and stuff, and
in this office.
it just is. Sometimes it's if you're not a tech guy, it's cumbersome. When it doesn't work, you got to call somebody that knows how to work on Control 4, and it becomes cumbersome. That's why we don't push a lot. Happy to put it in.
Yeah.
We will put it in, but yeah, we literally let someone like Eric run that show.
Yeah, yeah. One thing, as we start to come here down to the end, we'll talk about real quick what I would say to people. Think about those areas that you're tired of flipping the switch, meaning the kids, your hubby, always leaves on. And think about putting those lights. You can go to Home Depot if you want to do this yourself and just, but make sure you turn the breaker off when you start swapping stuff out. You can get those motion sensing light switches. We did that for an area for our animal, our pets, that when they go in the room to use the restroom, it automatically turns on and it turns on a fan.
Yeah.
So we have this little pet room where the cats use. They walk in, the motion sensing light comes on, and then it also turns on a vent fan that gets rid of all that. The smell, as well as that's the room I make you use.
That's what I smell whenever I'm going to my bedroom.
Yeah, because I piped it into your room.
You piped it into my room, didn't you?
But it gets rid of that dusty smell from cat litter.
Yeah.
Or the dust, and all it is a vent from a bathroom. I just lowered it, put it on a sidewall close to where the litter boxes are.
We call them fart fans.
That's right. Exactly. But you can do that with the light switches in kids. We're doing them now in all kids' closets. We're doing it in pantries. We're doing it in all these areas, that we want the light.
It's so much better. See, the old school way was jam switches. You remember those?
Yeah.
But do you remember how, well, they're a pain because the electrician doesn't want to cut them in, and then the trim carpenter doesn't want to cut them in, and then you get to the end of the build, and everyone's fighting over who's going to cut it in.
So technology's starting to save us money.
Technology's saving us because I loved putting in jam switches on pantries and closets and things like that, but man, it was a bear. It was a bear to get them in and look good.
Yeah, because it's just this big button that sticks out.
Just sticks.
It's a beauty.
Yeah.
She's a beauty.
Uh-huh.
So, and then you can get into making sure you light up art and things like that. What are some of the things? Oh, I know what I want to talk about.
More tips.
walkthroughs. Do the walkthrough with the customer, show them where lights are going to be, lay them out. We lay them out on the floor so they can see.
We do it all on the plans.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
We used to do it in the house. We used to do it in the house, but we started noticing that when you go out, an electrical walkthrough at an empty frame site can take 4 hours, and you usually are talking about electrical, but then you're talking about where wallpaper's going to go, and then you're talking about some framing issues, and next thing you know, you're out there for 4 hours, and it becomes a wild time. We completely lay it all out either in our office with our designer and the homeowner on our plans or at Visual Comfort. Our designer then gives us dimensions of where she wants all the lights. We give it to our
She draws it, or she or he draws it all out.
and then we send that to our electrician. They box the house. We then let our customer know, hey, the house is boxed. Before we pull wire, go let us know if you want something moved.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good idea. We still like to go. We do a lot of that.
Oh, do you?
But we still go out and lay
Mine is better.
Yeah, yours is better. Like we'll cut out, like if they say, hey, you're going to have a 75-inch TV in this room, we'll physically cut out a cardboard, a 75-inch TV and tack it to the wall and raise and lower it so we know right where to put the outlet. So it's hidden. So we'll do things like that. We have a standard bed size template that will spray on the ground or use blue tape. And so they know where it is to walk around the bedroom. And they can physically, because, based off of that, an outlet might need to get moved because it's too far behind the bed.
Yep.
As long as it's within code, a
one
light
now.
hangs.
It's so hard to plug in for my phone. It's behind
Exactly.
my headboard.
I know. Poor planning.
I know. I should have laid that out.
But so we still like to do those walkthroughs.
Yeah.
Hey, this is where this is. This is where this is, just to get that final sign off, and then we film it. And again, customers take pictures, film stuff, know where things are going to be. So that's about it. I guess we can go ahead and land this plane now.
No, keep going.
You want to keep going? You can go. Well, listen, we could, again, like you're right, we can go for a long time. This is our best attempt to quickly go through electrical layouts, walks, and things like that. I'm sure we missed a lot. We didn't talk about panels, running conduit for future wires. All these things are important and they're you should think about for planning for the future, but putting things in the wall now so it's there. We didn't talk about smart electrical panels like the SPAN panel, things like that. You can deal with that with your builder or your electrician.
Yeah, and again, it's like I said, we're going to push you to either an interior designer or a lighting specialist that's going. If you take anything from this, make sure you're doing that when it comes to lighting. Do not, as a homeowner, just walk the home with you and the builder and think you're going to lay out the lighting.
Yeah. Good. And with that, we'll end it. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And if you're not subscribed to us, please subscribe. Please DM us with any of your questions or anything like that, as we always say. Also, post a photo and tag us on it.
Oh, yeah,
of your favorite lighting details, something that we can add to our inspiration book and share with others. That we'd love that if you did that. And if you would follow along with us.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll get into something a little different. What is it here?
Kitchen appliances.
Yeah, kitchen design and appliances, which is huge. And thanks so much for listening. And again, give us a great review. A 5-star would help. And until next time, I'm Vince. This is Nathan. We'll see you on the flip side.